can get with this, cause this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
Welcome up, homies, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back here to do a review of The Last of Us episode 3, and I personally thought it was one hell of an episode, but we'll go around the horn and see what everybody thought and give our quick recap on our thoughts of this show. And without further ado, let's go to the crew. My man Hollywood DA, what's going on, brother?
No, but chill. It was a hell of an episode, all right. Well,
in length,
yeah. shit, exactly. Hella long. It was a hella boring. It was a whole lot of shit.
What about you, Phenom?
Hella good though.
Hella good. Okay.
Not
Phenom 202. What's going on, brother?
I like to downgrade my rating from yesterday, yo. I know I was a recency factor. I like, yo, I think it's a 6.5. I'm gonna take it down to like a 4, yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it. We're just going to give our overall thoughts, recap. We're going to talk about everything. We're not going through anything crazy, but basically the synopsis of this particular episode is we got Joel and Junior. I can't remember her name. Joel
Ellie.
and Ellie. No, is it Ellie?
Yes, Ellie.
Ellie, okay. Yeah, I can't remember her name. Brain fart. And Ellie, it starts off the beginning of them, but really this whole episode is really about a love story between Bill and Frank. So that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. I thought the episode was great. I like the episode. It's different. It definitely stirs far away from the game. I'm not going to lie. It definitely stirs far away from the game. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. It does pace a little slow. But once I get an understanding on why it's pacing slow, then I understand, because we're supposed to feel the time that has passed in this episode because it's been 20 years. So by the time they get to the end where they have to kill each other off, I get it. And I kind of got in the feels a little bit.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
I think the concept of it wasn't trash or anything like that. I mean, they acted it out well and everything. It's just, it was long, man. Like, to me, every scene they could cut off like 10 seconds. It was just like, it was kind of, it was drawn out. And I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, this is basically kind of like a standalone episode. I don't want to say standalone, but it is.
It did seem like that.
You're only third episode in, man. Like, I don't think they really earned the ability to just sidetrack and do this shit just yet. Not just yet. Like, come on, man. I was already a little shaky off the episode 2 because that shit was long. And again, if you described it to me, I'd be like, "Oh, this shit's good," but they need to cut out like 15 minutes off of every episode, man. Like,
well, last episode was like 50 something minutes. This one was an hour and 20 minutes.
But yeah, it could have been 20 minutes.
Not hour and 20 minutes. I'm sorry. It was an hour and.
Yeah, it was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it was an hour and 20 minutes.
But I'm saying episode 2 could have been 20 minutes. But if it's 20 minutes of me watching their ass drag their feet across Boston, like, I don't know how much exposition do I need, motherfucker. We did all that shit episode 2, them walking. Now we just did the only scenes with Joel and Ellie is more exposition. As my more
exposition.
As my boy Robert would say, yo, like, come on, man, like, we good on this,
right?
Yesterday, after watching it, you gave it a 6. Are you willing to downgrade too, or are you gonna keep it at a 6?
No, I'll keep it at a 6 because actually, like I said, the story was good, like, and the actors did well. Parks and Rec, your boy from White Lotus, yeah, first season of Wild Out, killing people. Like, I mean. The episode was good. It was just long. Like, they need an editor, yo. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. They needed to cut off like about 10, 20 seconds from each scene.
Yeah, that's what you need. Puffy just coming in. Puffy don't do no real work, but he'll just be like, yo, change that, add that. Like, they just need somebody just coming. Yeah, they just need somebody just coming in. Like, after you done did all the work, just be like, all right, just take that. All right, in that, we good. Like, cut out a little bit. That's it.
I mean, you make a valid point. I mean, when it gets to the cutting room floor, that definitely could have been maybe 10 seconds shaved off of certain scenes. I can see what you're saying. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, I did enjoy it. Phoenix made a good point yesterday about it would have been good to see more action happen at their camp instead of that one time. Like over the course of 20 years, you would have thought it would have been more than one of those.
Oh yeah, they would have had to been some people, either the clickers or I know they was out quote rural area, but between the clickers and just people like just people crazy, especially times like that. You know, motherfuckers wild out. Like for it to only really be like one attack. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And you know what messed me up with this episode or with this series? The trailers. Trailers make it seem like you got so much going on, so many fight scenes and all that stuff. And then the trailer, like it showed him like clicking the gun on Frank. He's like, yo, Arby's or whatever you're talking about. And then, show the people like him shooting at the people. But that's it. There's nothing more.
The art of trailer editing.
And the thing
whoever
about
edited that trailer need to edit that episode.
Facts, yo. And the thing about it, you sit there and watch it, and granted, I just how they get the sword fighting, yo. I don't understand it from like off of he brought him in there,
right?
Fed him, showered. And where did the connection come from, yo?
I mean, they already had the tendencies. I actually noticed the connection.
I don't think they just turned gay off the pen.
But it's like
the fun guy turned them gay. Like,
it's not like it's prison.
At first, I thought dude was in survival mode. Did y'all not get that feeling?
I mean, I think he was. But if anybody, because that wasn't like the first year or something. I forgot.
No, I'm talking about when it was the first night.
No, I'm not talking about them having sex or getting together. I'm talking about, I think he let him in so easy because he may not admit it. He may not admit it or not. Yo, you be by yourself for 3 years.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I mean, dude said just enough. Frank said just enough, like, to get him in. And once he was in there, it's just like, yo, I've been alone for 3 years, yo. Like, by yourself.
That's what I was thinking. He was alone for 3 years, and then once he checked him and found out that he wasn't infected, it made it a little more easier. And the guy was not threatening. I mean, he didn't have a gun. He didn't have anything. So he, I mean, look, you ain't seen nobody in 3 years. If the dude's not making a threat, you willing to have some idle conversation just because you ain't seen nobody in 3 years.
I'm gonna say, bro.
Y'all keep justifying, yo.
I mean, look, I'll put it this way. If you was alone by yourself for 3 years, motherfucking Rasputia, whatever the fuck, somebody, if she came and fell in that pit, you'll be like,
and then look, they already were feeling the way that they felt. It just so happened that these two crossed paths, and both were interested in men. I mean, that's just what it was. It wasn't like they just turned gay because of the apocalypse.
I'm talking about how it went from saving them to feeding them, and dude manipulated them just like that.
Oh man!
Come on, man! Like, no,
you didn't notice it before they started playing the piano. They were doing the eyes to each other.
No, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. How he goes from bombshell. I mean, like. What's the shit called, Ollie? Survivalist.
Doom prepper.
Doomsday prepper.
Doomsday prepper.
To having a full on one night stand that turned into him living together with him.
Okay, let's flip it. If I'm interested in women. So if a woman have fell in that pit and I ain't seen nobody in 3 years and she doesn't look bad and she's not a threat.
That's why
you tell me I wouldn't have tendencies to be interested in.
I mean, that's where I just look at it. Yo, it's been 3 years. Yo, he's been talking to motherfucking volleyball. What's your boy Tom Hanks? He's been talking
Mr.
to
Wilson.
Mr. Wilson.
That's exactly what happened.
You're gonna go crazy, man. So the first person that showed they halfway safe, you was like, fuck it, come on.
Yeah,
we could agree to disagree. I looked at it this way. He was a doomsday prepper. He took every precaution in the world, and then dude batted his eyes. He gave him some cow and some beef, and then
But see, that's the thing. You can be a doomsday prepper, but you can't prep for love, yo. When that shit hit your ass,
but even with the conversation,
that's a love song for you, brother.
So say this, yo.
Put it on a t-shirt.
he asked him. So basically, he fed him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I need to take a shower. He came out of the shower and looked down and be like, yo, go take a shower yourself, yo. He was like, okay.
I mean, see, you try to see that two men wouldn't do this. You can't look at it like that.
No,
You
I'm not even talking about that way. I'm
two
talking
people
about
attracted to each other. That would happen.
Yeah. No, I feel if he's, you know what I'm saying? He's not saying this because he's a man. He's saying it
He's
because
like, what made the turn so fast?
Because he's a prepper. Yeah, like
he's a prepper.
Like
Yeah,
he was
that's what
already
I'm
on
saying.
it. Like, yeah, I feel what you're saying, man. This TV.
Like he let his guard down just like that. He could have been murked just like that.
I think that's what makes this episode so interesting because it's the rose in the concrete. Like you put this huge slab of concrete down, and somehow a rose rose through the concrete. Rose was built. Like you just can't explain how it happened, when it happened, but somehow there was a crack in the concrete and a rose came through it. That's all it really was. And Bill was just the one that came through at this crack in his concrete wall. That's the way I look at it. It's possible.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I'll say this, to push the story along, like Ollie said, it was too long. They could have had a little love story at the beginning. We didn't have to see the fight about the country store, like painting stuff, like all that stuff.
Right.
You know, they did sprinkle in how, you know, he did go above and beyond to get friends there, like over the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then getting attacked and then dying after a while.
I thought they was going to show
that took
their
an
ass
hour
at the
and
end.
20 minutes, man.
Yeah, it did. I mean, because Game of Thrones has long episodes when they're just sitting and talking, but I can still get through it because the dialogue is so enriched in this room.
Yeah,
that I'm like, tense. This episode
tense.
had no tense moments except for the firefight at the fence, and that shit was fire though. That shit was tight.
I thought it would have been really good to see more interaction with them, with people on the outside. I think that's what it was missing. Yeah. But so much of the episode is just focused on them two. But see, I get it, but there's a lot of just pause. You know, there's a lot of pause in moments with just them. But I think for me, from an editing standpoint, I find it purposeful because when you're in an apocalypse, there is nothing but pause. There's no TV. There's just nothing. It's just you and this, you know.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah, that was a good analogy there, Corey. I give you that one. Metaphor, analogy. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, metaphor, analogy. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Because now, if I look at it from another eyes, then yes, the shit was too long. They could have. It was starting to come. Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder. Yeah. You know, where he was really drawing on some scenes. So you know, it did get a little long. I'm still keeping my rating at 7 though. I'm still keeping the rating at 7. I'll have gone down to, you said a 6.
No, yeah, I called it 6. It's still a 6 for me.
You call 6, so you still 6. If Phoenix has gone down to a 4, okay. You know so we're averaging out to about a 5 here.
Pedro Pascal, he gets paid $6.50 an episode. He was in this episode for what, 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. He got the bag on this episode, yo.
Yeah, he did that.
Hey man, that's how it happens, yo. I mean, sometimes.
I mean, he gets paid off the man.
He getting the dough, yo. He getting that
paid off
money.
Money. He don't even motherfucking. It ain't even him in that suit. That motherfucker just.
It is him in the suit.
That motherfucker do some voiceovers. Hey, he been cracked. He cracked the
No, it's
game.
Definitely him in the suit, yo. If you look at him walk,
he cracked the system. Y'all can believe that if you want. I know the truth.
He got the same gait when he walked, yo.
Now he does do voiceovers, because they have to dub over him talking through the mask because it comes out too muffled. So you are correct, Ollie. He does do voiceover. He actually goes back in the studio and redub the lines. That's correct.
I'm corrected. That ain't him. That's but I'll let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Right. You say my theory for another day.
Well, anyway, we're gonna wrap this episode up. We pretty much just giving you guys just the episode, because really, that really is the meat and potatoes of this episode, which was basically the same thing that they ate every day in this episode. Yeah, meat and potatoes. So there you go, man. That's the meat and potatoes of this episode. That's our review of The Last of Us episode 3. Other than that, you guys catch us back when we do the watch along and a review of episode 4. I'm sure these two guys are hoping it's better. Yeah, but either way,
I'm keeping my hopes up.
Yeah, same here. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can catch us on the feed and know exactly what we're doing next. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Corey Roy. That's Hollywood DA. That's Phenom 202. and we'll be back at you. Peace.
Peace.
I know one damn thing.
You get with this,
I ain't killing
this is
myself
where
if I
it's
last
at.
that long.
You
on
can
that
get with this,
damn
or you
popular
can get
show.
with that. You can get with this, or you